Hi there. If you're watching this video, you probably have a need to remove, replace, or repair the interior freezer door or door hinge on a Dometic two-way fridge freezer with a single door on the outside, like this one. You might find this sort of fridge freezer combination in an RV, camper, or as they say in England, a caravan, or possibly even a boat. Now, there is at least one other video on YouTube showing you how to do this. But in my opinion, the other videos are more targeted towards professional RV repair people or technicians. I followed those instructions and I ended up doing more damage than I fixed, and I made this video to help you avoid the same fate. In this video, I'm going to show you the tools that I used, the parts that you might need, as well as the techniques of how to remove the interior freezer door without breaking anything, and perform any replacements or repairs you need to do. The most common cause of a problem with your interior freezer door is that the closing mechanism has broken. You can break your closing mechanism if you put too much weight on the freezer door, or if you accidentally close the outer door before closing the freezer door, or it can just break because the plastic gets brittle and old. As in other videos, there are just a few simple tools that you'll need. You'll need a medium-sized flat-bladed screwdriver like this one, but the secret sauce that's going to help you reduce any sort of collateral damage is this device here. It's called an air shim, and you can pick these up on Amazon or at Harbor Freight or at your local hardware store. The first thing you'll need to do is make sure that your fridge is off and that you've let it come to room temperature. This will help reduce brittleness in the plastic parts that you'll be dealing with. Next, open the door as far as you can, at least 90 degrees, to make sure you have a clear area to work in. The next step is to open the freezer door. Place your air shim between the wall of the fridge and the freezer door, like this, and let the freezer door close. Like that. You'll notice that in this case, I placed the air shim on the right side of the freezer. Now, inflate the air shim. After you have the air shim inflated, take a look at the lower right corner of the freezer door where it meets the wall of the freezer or the fridge. You're going to see a nylon bolt right here. What you want to do with your medium-sized screwdriver is gently push that bolt into the wall of the fridge. And once you have that done, you should be able to remove that freezer door just by pulling out on the lower right corner. Here you can see that I've depressed the bolt into the wall of the fridge, releasing the bolt from the freezer door. Then all you have to do is deflate your air shim like this, and you can simply remove the door like that. Once you have the door removed, you can see that you have a hinge assembly here and a hinge assembly there, and they are different on the right and left sides. I wanted you to see and understand how these parts fit together, because understanding how they fit together will help you avoid causing collateral damage that could turn this repair into a very expensive prospect. So first of all, on each side of the fridge you have this spring hinge mechanism that helps keep the fridge door closed. And odds are this is the reason that you are actually watching this video, because the OEM part, and I have this one as a replacement part, typically breaks in this part right here, and it's due to the twisting force or torque that is put on this cheap plastic piece. The other part that's involved is this spring, and the springs are different for each side of the fridge. As you can see here, this is the left side and this is the right side. The left side is often painted with a blue paint. The right side is often painted with a yellow paint. In addition, These parts are also different depending on which side of the fridge they belong. So if to replace them, you will have to order a left or a right version. What happens is that this part here sticks in the wall of the fridge. When you apply opening force to the door, it compresses the spring shown here, and then the spring returns the door to a closed position. Now, force is transferred from the spring to the refrigerator door by what's called a bolt, this nylon bolt with a plus sign in it. That plus sign, or male plus sign, fits into a recess here on the side of your fridge or freezer door. If you're not careful, using the other instructions that are seen on YouTube, and you apply force like they tell you with a screwdriver here, you're going to break this bolt receiver right there. And that is in fact what I did on this freezer door, which necessitated another replacement part. You can see the original that's molded right into the door. Now, some fridge doors have a part that's already looks like that on it, because I believe that this is a common breaking point. Typically, the only part that breaks, like I said, is this cheap plastic part. But if you were to look for a replacement anywhere online as of the making of this video, this part, OEM, costs $30. And it's just this part. It doesn't include anything else. So I have made an improved version of the OEM part using a very high mechanical resistance plastic and with slightly beefed up dimensions. I will put a link to eBay of these parts. There's a left part and a right part. Instead of paying $30 for the OEM cheap plastic part that's going to break again, you can pay half that price for a redesigned, re-engineered, upgraded part. Once you get your part, all you have to do is place the spring back into it. There's a little leg on the spring that will fit through the slot in the part right there. And see how it fits in just like that? Do the same on the right side. And by the way, this is an OEM part by comparison. So now take this assembly and place it back into the hole in the wall of your fridge. And when you do, you're going to put the arm of the bolt housing in a downward position so that the bolt is in a plus sign configuration, just like this, maybe a little bit beyond that. And I'll show you why in a second. So just like that. On the right side, you're going to do the same thing. So it's almost completely down with the arms of the bolt, or the plus sign of the bolt, just rotated a little bit past the 12 o'clock position. The reason we need it just a little bit past the 12 o'clock position is because when we replace the freezer door, we're going to replace it in this position here, like that. So now I'm going to place the left side of the freezer door into the fridge and compress that bolt back into the wall of the fridge, and you'll hear it snap just like that. Now I need to do the same thing on the right side, and I'm going to have to depress this bolt into the wall. You'll probably need two hands to do this. You might want to use a screwdriver. With that bolt depressed into the wall, I'm going to gently move that freezer door until I hear a pop, because that's where the bolt engages the female plus sign on the fridge door. So, with that done, the next thing you have to do is rotate this housing so that that bump that you see disappears back into a hole in the freezer. You may need a screwdriver for the final few fractions of an inch or centimeter. And once it's in there, you've basically added torque. It'll just pop in, and now you've added the closing torque to that door. Let's repeat this on the left side of the fridge, like that, until I can get it to pop into that little hole. And like I said, I may need to apply a little bit of force with a screwdriver, but you can see it pops right in. So let's check how we did. I think that's pretty good. So for tools and parts links, just check the description below. Thank you for watching. I am sure that you will find this much easier to do, especially for a RV owner who likes to DIY.